Good evening, everyone. I'm Angie, and October is Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month. It's also several other awarenesses, but this is the one that is a part of my story and the one that I want to talk about. So in spite of a very high prevalence rate, a reported 1 in 4 pregnancies, reported being the key word there, the subject of miscarriage remains taboo. Unless a woman is blessed enough to have at least one of those 25% of women in their circle, she feels all alone and she feels like no one understands. One of the stories that most defines me happened 8 years ago today. I remember all of the surrounding details as well as the physical and emotional loss as if it was still happening. Now, the big part of this story is like a lot of my other ones. It starts with when we were in Germany. A lot of my stories start that way. It was a very significant time in our lives. So we arrived in Germany on October 6th, 2011. At that time, I was 8 weeks pregnant. I had not been in for a checkup because TRICARE has funny rules. And we spent the next 3 weeks doing in-processing, doing a lot of waiting, and looking for our new home. Our temporary lodging was nice, but we didn't have any of our belongings except the clothes and toys that we brought with us. We didn't even have our vehicle yet. Dietrich was 3.5, full of energy and ready for every part of our new adventure. He was also really excited that he was going to be a big brother. After the first couple of weeks, we paid the deposit and walked through the house that we'd found with one of our new friends from church. Dietrich took an immediate liking to him because his name was James, though he was not a red steam engine. Dietrich loves Thomas the Train. That's where that's from. So he took an immediate liking to him for that. I took an immediate liking to this man because Dietrich thought he should take all of our stairs all at once, and James caught him at the bottom, which was a huge relief to me. So he didn't fall down and hurt himself. He was caught. So after that, we went to a Mexican restaurant. And yes, that's as weird as it sounds. And I started to feel a little off. I tried to push it out of my mind, indigestion, whatever, until I started spotting. And when I could no longer believe that this was normal, Peter called our sponsor, because like I said, we didn't have our car yet, and we went to the ER. After blood work and waiting, an ultrasound and waiting, and then a better ultrasound, there was no heartbeat. At 11 weeks, my baby had fingers and toes, was beginning to grow hair and fingernails, but no longer had any life. While at the ER, I did pass several clots, and there were a lot of useless words like, "It's not your fault. Nothing you did could have caused this. Nothing you did could have done would have prevented this. There's nothing to say that it will happen again if you try again." So while we were at the ER, another new friend from church called to see when she needed to pick me up to do grocery shopping, because we had talked about that earlier in the week. She showed so much love to me, not only in that phone call, but in that following day, as she pushed my cart around, picked up all the groceries, brought them into our house, our temporary house. She showed so much love and care. And then while she was still there, I think she was showing Dietrich some extra love and affection. 2 of the men from Peter's unit came to the door with flowers and their condolences. As they were talking to us, I felt a contraction and something that I knew was much more than another clot. I excused myself, and when I went to the bathroom, I saw my baby, sack and all. Well, I didn't do a very close examination. This golf ball-sized bundle was clearly a real baby, one that we had wanted. In the years since, I've thought that that baby was a boy, though I have no idea and no way of knowing that for sure. A few days before this happened, we were in Bible class on Sunday morning, and others had shared stories of great tragedy. One had recently had a family member killed. They were shot. It was like a huge tragedy. two ladies mentions miscarriages. And I remember our conversation on the way home. Peter and I talked about how blessed we were that we hadn't had any big traumatic losses. But because those two women shared their story, I knew I wasn't alone. And more than anything else, that is what got me through that really dark time. I couldn't wallow or hide because Dietrich needed me. I couldn't go home because there was an ocean in between me and my family. And so we made a new extended family with our church. And almost exactly a year later, we welcomed our rainbow Madeline. Now, a video all about her vibrance will have to come at another time, because that's not what this video is about. One other thing that I have not just experienced but also heard from other women who've gone through this, the medical paperwork will say spontaneous abortion. And that will hit you like a ton of bricks every time you see it. I have not ever gone back and looked at my paperwork from that day. I mean, we have it somewhere, but I have not ever looked at it. And whenever I give my medical history to a new doctor, I am very clear with them, because they are not going to write it down that way. I refuse. And I hear so many women that are horrified and re-traumatized because that's what their paperwork says. So for now, if you have experienced this type of loss and you feel all alone, I want to tell you that you're not. I want you to know that your grief is okay and whatever you feel is valid. And I also want you to know that if you need a friend, I'm here for you. The only way to end the taboo is one story at a time. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.